unrelenting fear. It's the destiny of a Jedi. Your destiny.
What would you like the legacy of Rey in this new trilogy to be?
I would like the legacy to be that she is part of a group of people who, against all odds, continue to strive for the best that the galaxy can be.
Well, you had good company to inspire Rey on her journey. What does it mean to you to be listed among the ranks of Carrie Fisher when people talk about women who have paved the way in the world of Star Wars?
I mean, Carrie did that. I didn't do that. Carrie really did that, and we are blessed that Kathy and JJ went on with that in giving a new female character a big part. And then beyond that, Kelly and Naomi and Keri, and it's been a wonderful time and a wonderful few years, even within the last 3 films, to see representation, even within this film, is even more wonderful than it was. But Carrie is the one that did that.
She's the one that did a lot. What is your favorite, if you had to pinpoint it to one moment, what's your favorite Rey moment in the new trilogy?
I mean, a big one that I'm reminded of is the saber flying to Rey. Because I remember being in the premiere, watching it, and people were really screaming. And I knew it was going to be like a big moment. But the reaction in the auditorium was really fucking amazing.
That must have been the coolest thing ever, because you know where the saber's going.
Yeah.
I remember being there too.
My heart was pounding.
We didn't know who it was going to.
Yeah, and it does the whip past Kylo, and you're like, yes, move Kylo, bye.
So I had a chance to talk to some of your castmates, and the term BFF gets thrown around a lot.
What, by my castmates?
By a lot of people.
Here?
When we're talking about you and Oscar and John.
Right, okay.
So the 3 of you. But if I had to give you a choice and you had to pick one to be your BFF.
Oh my God, did they play this? They chose each other.
I can't give you any spoilers.
They chose each other?
I just need your answer.
Is it in real life or story-wise?
This is real life.
In real life?
Real life.
Oh no, this is like the kid that gets left out on the playground. No, I won't choose. I won't choose, and I know that they did.
They did.
They chose each other.
John chose you.
Did he?
John said Daisy.
Oh.
Because y'all text like every day.
That's true.
Got a nice relationship. You said Oscar has his own family, so now it's pretty much y'all are on that island
okay,
together.
That's surprising. But I'm glad I didn't choose. Because also it's different dynamics. Like me and John were like the kiddies, and then they've got their bromance. Then me and Oscar have this fledgling new friendship that we didn't really have before because we didn't really work with each other before. I'm really thrilled with that. Thanks.
I'm glad to deliver
I'm sorry
the
I
news.
assumed the worst.
So if you had to limit your thoughts, your emotions, everything to one word, what was the word that you would use to describe Baby Yoda?
Positive. At this divisive time, especially, well, actually in England as well, everyone's being awful to each other, but in the States, how's about something that everyone gets behind? Baby Yoda.
We don't know his species. We don't know who it is.
And we don't care. We just know he's cute. We don't care what he's drinking. We don't care where he's going in that carriage. We just care that he's bringing everyone together.
Now I'm interested in what he's drinking.
I think he's sipping tea. I feel like he knew some shady business in the galaxy and he told someone and then sipped the tea. You know?
Metaphorical.
You're coming together. Is your undoing.
What would you like Finn's legacy to be?
Ooh, Daisy got this question at the Q&A. She struggled, and I'm struggling too. Well, I've always found Finn to be the most human in the stories. I don't know, I always liked the fact that he was always going to be this guy, especially Force Awakens, that was genuinely scared of these circumstances. I think just knowing Star Wars, we've gotten used to the characters in it not really being afraid to go in and do what's necessary. And I hope people remember that, because in 9, you get a Finn that's less scared of stuff and more about just getting it done. And so I hope that the legacies, part of his legacy anyway, is in seeing that transition that he always wasn't that solid.
So it's the journey from that scared kid who's
Just
breathing
left
heavy.
the First Order, blown up a couple of wannabes boys they saw on the lunch break just 30 minutes prior, and then ends up in the Resistance, doesn't know whether to even fight a fight, but now, he understands what his position and role is. So yeah.
So Star Wars, there's a big galaxy out there. If there was going to be a storyline, a place, a time period, a character that we could explore in a future film or a future trilogy, any thoughts?
I mean, they're going to do that anyway. I mean, surely there's going to be another trilogy with another fresh take and a new cast. It'll be good to see them connect it with these films as well, to see how they do. But I don't know. It's so hard to tell what could possibly be done. They're definitely not going to shelve it, that's for sure. It's Star Wars, so yeah.
So here's a really tough question. So you got Oscar, and you made a video for Oscar, so y'all are pretty close. Then you have Daisy, y'all are pretty close too. But the term BFF indicates you can only have one best friend forever.
Really?
Who would you pick?
Daisy. I'm gonna pick Daisy because I started this with Daisy. Me and Daisy, although you don't see me writing public letters to Daisy, I text Daisy every day, and that's why Daisy is a better friend anyway, because Daisy replies to my texts.
Oh, she writes you back.
Yeah,
Oscar,
and that's why Oscar had to get a real official letter. Oscar's got a baby now, he's got serious issues in life and responsibilities. I feel like his family needs him more than I need him.
It's interesting you bring up family, because my last question, I just need one word answer from you. If I was to give you one word to describe Baby Yoda.
Oh, cute. So cute. I genuinely think that the little thing is so cute. They've done well with that.
What
That's
did
a
you
little
think the first
puppet
time
too.
you saw the baby?
I thought it was cute. I thought it was actually Yoda as a baby. Then I peeped the actual timeline of Mandalorian. It's actually way. Is it after? It's after
after
Yoda.
Return of the Jedi. But
Yeah.
before
So Yoda's done. Yoda's not even around.
Could be a clone.
Maybe, but I just think that's just so cool. I like that little thing. He's actually genuinely cute.
JJ, I remember when Force Awakens came out, I saw an interview with you, and you said the real hook to get you to want to do this project was the question, where has Luke Skywalker been? Is there a similar kind of hook that got you into the Rise of Skywalker?
Well, it was really because when Kathy Kennedy called to ask if I'd come on to do this, I knew it wasn't about beginning, as it was with Force Awakens, beginning a new trilogy, introducing new characters. The thing that really grabbed me with Force Awakens was this idea that there was this young woman out there who existed in a world where the films that we all knew was the history of the galaxy she was in. And the big question for her was, is Luke Skywalker more than a myth? Could he actually be someone who existed? In this one, I would say that because she clearly is discovering how powerful she is, with the Force. Last Jedi clearly is about her training, starting, I guess the question in this is like, what is all that training for? And what is she really up against? And that is a sort of personal and professional, if you will, question for her. And I think that the movie, it very much plays out not just her own inevitability, but if you look at all 9 films, I'd like to think that there is an inevitability to that as well.
You seem like such a humble guy, so it's hard to ask you this question.
Oh.
What do you think your legacy is in terms of the Star Wars saga?
It's not about being modest or falsely modest or anything. The truth is, to look at your work from the outside in, I think, it's an odd thing to do. I mean, I know there are ways you can quantify. As a comedian, for example, if you're not getting laughs, those jokes aren't working. It's like so you can go, oh, people laughed, that worked, that set was good. I feel like on something like this, our goal was to continue the story that meant so much, to me, to make, not just another chapter, but a relevant, meaningful, moving chapter. To see kids dressing up like some of these characters and to see that, they care about it the way I cared about it when I was a kid, dressing up like a Jawa for Halloween, when I was 13 or 30. No, but it mattered so much, and to try and continue a story that makes people feel like the world has, is full of infinite possibility, that you could make incredible, unexpected friends in the weirdest of places, that there's more good out there than not. There's just a beautiful kind of hope that is inherent in Star Wars, and to perpetuate that, to be part of perpetuating that, is a meaningful thing. And I hope that when you see The Rise of Skywalker, that you see that this film has that kind of a heart.
So last question. It's hard to boil all of this greatness down into one question, and I need a one-word answer.
Oh, great.
One word.
Yeah?
To describe your thoughts on Baby Yoda.
Besides, like, adorable, that kind of thing? Like, that sort of thing?
We can take adorable.
How can you not look at Baby Yoda and love Baby Yoda? Adorable.
We don't know if it's a baby, we don't know if it's Yoda, but it's
Baby
adorable.
Yoda.
People keep telling me they know me. No one does.
But I do.
You're joining a legacy of Carrie Fisher, now Daisy Ridley, as women who have paved the way in the world of Star Wars. What does that mean to you?
Well, the one thing I want to say about the female element of this, which, because there is a big part of that, but I just want to speak to JJ's involvement in that. And, it is so important, but I feel like it's my introduction to this business really has almost always been with JJ 20-something years ago. And in a way, he's always written female stories. Like, he was a mid-30s guy writing about the intricacies of a college girl, her feelings and wants and embarrassments. And that's just what the good story. He wasn't like, oh, I'm going to make an only female story. He's always written those stories. I've always loved that about JJ. You know what I mean? He, I don't think he was thinking, I have to make a female. I think he just thought of like whatever best story he had. And I love the introduction of Rey. I mean, she's so badass.
So there's another legacy that you're joining in the world of Star Wars, and that is a cool helmet character. We've seen them throughout Star Wars history, and now they're super popular again with The Mandalorian. So what does that mean to you?
To get to be in a Star Wars movie is super cool. To get to be a cool character in a there were so many characters I could have been. So many. And I got to be this one. Like, the costume, the helmet, it's like my dream. It's my dream. And also to wear the helmet, it's really empowering because you can see everyone, but no one can see you. It's a really, there is a power to it, and it's a very elusive kind of, I loved it.
I understand why the Mandalorian doesn't want to take the helmet off. Why would you?
Why would you? It is a total power play. Dude, it's sick.
It's good at job interviews.
I know. They're like, what do you think about doing? You're just like, yes. You're like, does he think that?
So you brought up your history with JJ. Y'all been friends for a long time.
True.
From Felicity to Master of the Star Wars universe, what's it been like to see your friend make these moves?
Amazing, but natural, because working with him all those years ago is the same as working with him now. That's just who he is. He's a very capable, enthusiastic, curious, endlessly excited about whatever it is he's working on. So it just feels natural because it's like what he's meant to be doing. And him getting the opportunity to close out this piece of cinema history feels so right. And I know it was something that there was a lot of pressure. I think that he was feeling, the beginning probably not so much, but the end, I know he felt the pressure of doing right by the fans who love it so much. And seeing it last night was so thrilling. And that's the first thing I did. I just hugged him and I said, you did it. Like, you totally did it. It's okay, you did it. Yeah.
So, last question.
Okay.
One word answer. I give you one word to describe Baby Yoda.
Confusion.
That's the best one yet.
What are you doing there, 3PO?
Taking one last look, sir. as my friends.
I think about that line from the trailer where we hear C-3PO take one last look at his friends. Anthony, if I can ask what it meant to you to have one last go-around with this saga.
Well, fortunately, it's been a brilliant ending. If it hadn't been, I wouldn't be sitting here smiling. But I can say with utter confidence, having seen the film last night, it's going to get a big score on Rotten Tomatoes.
When you do that line, are you thinking of the characters that C-3PO is looking at, or are you thinking about maybe there's a little bit of Luke or Han or Leia as well?
I think what is very clever about the line, which JJ and Chris Terrio wrote, is I think people would take a lot of things from it that will be personal to them. So for me, I was having personal feelings on that set, and I found it moving to say those lines. When I saw it in the trailer, also moving. But I think fans will adopt it as their own, and it's a remarkable phrase, because how many times do we say goodbye to people? One last look, sir, at my friends. Not saying goodbye, he's saying one last look, sir.
If you look at the legacy of each one of your characters, what is your hope that the legacy of Chewbacca is?
Well, I think I'm living the legacy.
Yeah.
I think I'm already seeing it. What that character means to people is bigger than me, and I'm just trying to preserve the essence of the character on screen, and hopefully bring new when it's warranted. But really, I'm really glad to just if I can survive the challenge of preserving, I've done a good job. But it's harder than it looks.
It occurs to me as you're speaking that it's not really a question of legacy. It's a question that sometime, a long time ago, 1975, George Lucas came up with this idea that became a gift to society, actually, to around the world, to the cultural, the pop cultural, in the best meaning of the word, pop cultural, popular culture. People will enjoy and embrace this story for years and years to come, whether we're involved or not. But that all started back then, and JJ has now taken it in his hands and kind of closed it up for us. It's a gift.
Every time Mr. Daniels talks, I feel like I learned something new. So I imagine as a newcomer to this character, Chewbacca,
yes.
What did you learn from?
From Anthony, I learned that my sentences should not be too long. That's one thing. I've learned so many things. I've learned Anthony makes the best tea. I've learned so much from Anthony.
He's learned that I had the biggest hangover of my life having had dinner with him one night in London.
Yes, yes. Maybe that you told me that.
I was trying to keep up with
I didn't
you.
know.
Big
I didn't
mistake.
know.
6 million forms of communication.
Yeah.
Keep it short.
Exactly.
And don't drink too much.
Exactly. And yeah.
My last question is a simple one because it can be a one-word answer. If I gave each
Not
of you...
in his case.
It might be a few more. So we'll start with you.
Yes.
If I give you one word to describe Baby Yoda.
Okay. What I would say is I can't.
You see, it's the one word thing. I knew it's going to be a problem. You can have two
I'd say
words.
squishy. Squishy.
Squishy's a
Yes,
good one.
yes. You can't come up with a better word.
No, I could, but I can't say it.
I think we know what that word is.
Me and Anthony, there's always a bit of, one happens.
I'll just think it.
If we're looking at the legacy of Star Wars, so you have Carrie Fisher and then more recently Daisy Ridley paving the way for women in the franchise. What does it mean to each one of y'all to be a part of that legacy?
Oh, yeah. Big stuff. I feel like that this is just the beginning. Like, I think when I think about our characters, especially having seen it as well, I'm like, this is great, and I cannot wait to see what this allows to happen in the future. We have gotten a certain way, but we have so much more to go.
We're just like squeezing the door.
We're just squeezing the door, and I feel like it's just like, come on!
Like, come on,
God damn it! Oh, God! I'm so sorry. And I think like that to me is super encouraging. I just want to be a part of that, you know, and in any way, whether it's writing, producing, acting, directing, maybe all four at the same time, it's that to me.
We're just starting, listen.
We're
getting
young.
Yeah. We're just getting
Just the chemistry I sense between the two of y'all. It seems like this is its own Star Wars spin-off movie. Can we make that happen?
Listen.
Listen. I wouldn't say.
Okay, make some calls for us. Make some calls.
Yeah.
I'll see what I can do. But, I mean, y'all have seen the movie. Like, this is clearly the joy of people who know everything about the movie.
Yeah, it's a smugness that is like
so
like,
smug.
Yeah, no,
And I'm like the person that comes into work on Monday after not seeing it opening weekend, and you know so much more than I do.
Yeah, no, and you know what it is? I feel like there's such an excitement. I think that it's an ensemble piece, and I think people coming in will get, you know, to see, you know, some new characters come in, but still have this close relationship and see more depth in the characters that have been there for a long time. And I think on the whole, it's just such a ride.
Agree.
So,
what do you see the legacy of each one of your characters being in Star Wars?
We just got asked this question, and I still think it's hard every time.
It's really hard.
What is my legacy? Yes, I would like to think that Rose, from The Last Jedi to this film, like, she's always been about having hope despite all the odds being against that, and leading from love despite having experienced a lot of pain. And I think that is something that I'm trying to do all the time. But yeah.
Yeah. I think for Jana, I want the girl to get out. You know, get out a bit more, see the world, see what's up, what's going on.
Maybe drive a car instead of
Maybe
ride
drive a
horse,
car.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Get
just
a
like
Tesla.
modernize.
Who knows? Yeah.
You know?
Sounds like you want your character to go to Earth really bad.
Yeah, because it's so great here.
I just want my character to have an apartment, get a Wi-Fi password.
Just get a man. Just,
good health insurance, you know. Just,
good insulation for her home.
Yeah.
So last question of the day.
Yeah.
Last question,
Of
and then
the
we're
day.
done. And it's easy because the last question is a one-word answer.
Bless.
I give you one word. What is your word to describe Baby Yoda?
Aww.
Yeah.
That counts as a word.
Was that your word?
That's my word.
Musha musha.
So we got and musha musha.
Musha musha.
Those are the two most accurate words I've heard to describe Baby Yoda.
I love it.